Hey, bro, you know a cheat code that I found, by the way, because I never thought about this, because I just, you just assume that every Locked On channel has the same deals. Go and look up the NHL's playoff deal, and then come back and tell me if that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. You gotta learn when to take advantage of the perks of the network, bro. That's all I'm gonna say.
Let me get in on that. I'll also say this. I found this out yesterday. During the NBA Finals, Wingstop is doing a 20 for 20 deal.
Oh yeah, bro. Absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I fell off a Wingstop. Too much salt.
Oh, especially for the lemon pepper.
Listen, brother. We want to say black on black crime is the biggest problem in the black community. No, salt is what's killing us.
Salt on black crime has been killing us for a while, my boy.
Salt on black crime is diabolical. So
it's crazy.
I had to cut down on it because I was doing Wingstop twice a week.
Twice a week?
Yeah,
that's
bro.
crazy,
that blood pressure was high.
Yeah, bro. That doctor was looking at you like, hey, boy, my boy, what you doing? What are you doing?
Retaining water like a pregnant woman.
Speaking of what are you doing? So it has been mentioned that by both Mark Stein and what's the old boy's name, Cowley, over the weekend, that Igor Dimon still remains the Bulls' reported top pick, that he's what everybody's talking about amongst league sources and things like that. But reportedly, the Bulls' second on their board have Noah Essingue. Now, this is a little bit of a surprise. Essingue is an extremely raw prospect with he's really raw, but you can see like where he can be like that jack of all trades type forward. I think that he can even, like, he's 195 pounds now, but I can even see him eventually maybe even being a small ball center. Don't tell Billy Donovan. But two positions right away, the 3 or the 4. He has a little bit of everything, but no one refined skill quite yet. What do you think about Noah Essingue for the Bulls?
Here's what I do like about Noah Essingue with the team that we currently have now. Y'all know how I feel about Igor Dimon. Like, yeah, you got Josh Giddey. What are you getting Igor Dimon for? But Noah Essingue, to me, is interesting for one reason and one reason only, especially for a rookie that can make an instant impact. In transition, this young man has a 73.7% efficiency in the fast break. He's got strong ability with the interior scoring and rebounding as well. He's got really strong rebounding instincts. I think he's a solid playmaker to this point, and he has really improved his three-point shooting dramatically year over year over year. I think he went from, over the last 3 years, 17%, 25%, and 32%, but it's still a very inconsistent three-point shooter. That's not something.
But he has the mechanics look decent though. The mechanics on the shot look decent.
Good mechanics. If only we kept a shooting coach around. But you are going out and trying to run back P. Will.
That's what it seems like, right?
You're trying to get P. Will right.
If you do that, I think there are other players. But go ahead. I'm sorry, Pat.
Which is, here's the thing. Is that, and I ask you this, is that the wrong mentality when me and you have both said Patrick Williams has all the talent in the world? He just don't got the right mindset for it.
And that's something that I talked about on Twitter the other day. I said that, like, people who get this PTSD anytime they hear, oh, well, he has a similar skill set to Patrick Williams. The skill set was never the problem. Yeah. It's what's in between the ears, right? So, like, if you get a player that has a similar skill set to Patrick Williams, but they have the aggression is something that you're not worried about, I'm extremely interested in that type of prospect, especially next to Matas Buzelis, right? It's just that you have to get the mentality right. And I hope that the Bulls, whatever they've done, they come up with a better evaluation over what players want to be great, right? And that's really a hard thing to gauge with these young teenagers of who really wants to be great and who's just relying off just their natural God-given skill and who's like going to put in the work every single day to be great, right? Noah Essingue is the second youngest player in this draft. And so I think that's another question there. But no, I'm not mad at a player having a P. Will type skill set. That's a skill set that you want in the modern NBA. It's just, if they have the right mentality, then we can get that right. That's why I like a Drake Powell. I'm not down on a Drake Powell. People make comparisons there. Carter Bryant, people make comparisons there. The biggest thing I question when people say, yeah, but is it like P. Will? All right, tell me this. What have you seen from the aggression level? And watching Noah Essingue, he seems like a guy that still is naturally like kind of, he defers away, but like when you call on him to do something, I don't see passive from Noah Essingue. What about you, Pat?
I mean, I think it's tough to see a ton when you watch the international game, right? Like, you could see the skill set on display, but a lot of times everything is passive over there. The international game a lot of times is very similar to what they did at FSU. And what I mean by that is it's a very team-oriented game. It is not one dude going out there and balling out and being the best player on the team. It's why their numbers look so incredibly different. It's why when Luka came over, I think Luka was averaging like 12 points a game. And he got over here and it was like 40. Like, this was easy. Like, because it's so much more of a team dynamic in the international game. You see a lot of times, when we play FIBA and stuff like that, we lock in on one dude going off. We lock in on Stephen Curry having a big game or LeBron James having a big game versus, where the teams we're playing against, when we played against Australia, when we played against Canada, right? Canada kind of is similar style to us, but like a lot of those international teams, you'll see the end of the game stat line is like 15, 12, 11, 10. So I think it's tough to see whether he is passive or he's just playing in the international game.
I tell you what, I don't know if you saw the game last year when they played against the Portland Trailblazers. Actually, this is an international team, and he scored 20 points in that game and was very confident against.
Yeah, I think the confidence is there, and the ability is there. So I wouldn't be mad at it. I think the question is, are you at the point where a 17-year-old is what you're trying to hang your hat on right now?
18.
Or are you at the point where you need to get something stable? Are you at the point where you need to have an answer at a position?
Yeah, I mean, and that's a fair question, completely fair to ask, especially when you have prospects that are more sure things in this draft, right? So that's it's going to be really interesting to see how the Bulls play this. We know we've heard a lot about their best player available and player that fits the play style and scheme of the team more so than any particular position. I completely understand that, but when you have players that are kind of more even that still have a lot of upside, but are more sure things as far as what they're going to be.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of concern to look at those players and say, yeah, we hear that, but we want this guy that we have no idea what his position is going to be. We don't know exactly what his skill set's going to be, but the upside's there. We'll see what AK does, man. I just don't know which way he's going to go.
I would rather go with the dude that maybe projects to be, because with Noah Essingue, right, if you extrapolate it out, if he becomes 80% of what we think that he can be with the right mindset, he could be a dog in this NBA.
Facts.
Like, he could be a monster. So I always like to take a chance, especially in the draft, on the higher potential. But that means you have to supplement that by going out in free agency and finding the thing that you need an answer at. And that's the part where I don't know if we're going to get that. Are you going to find, because we could say there's a belief in Sticks and there's a belief in Zach Collins at the center position. The belief is that they're both tall.
The belief is that they can both be functional for now, but that's not your long-term answer by any stretch. Neither one is your long-term answer.
Yeah, so you got to find that guy. And whether you find him in the draft or you find him in free agency, you have to find that guy no matter what, especially with where the NBA is going with the physicality. I mean, we're watching Chet get pushed around in the NBA Finals, and Chet, while very slim, is not small.
Yeah.
So we'll see what ends up happening. Hopefully this ends up working out for the Bulls. And I wouldn't be mad at Noah Essingue. I would say you're going to have to do some development, and that has not been the Bulls' strong suit. But we'll see what the Bulls end up doing. We'll talk about Io's live stream. You tap in with that a little bit yesterday. A
lot of it. It was fun to watch. Well, I was making shrimp po' boy sandwiches and was watching Io DeSumo's live streams.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. You make shrimp po' boy sandwiches more often than most people make po' boys, bro. I've heard you talk about po' boys a couple of times.
Bro, I've made 2 po' boy sandwiches this year.
That is more times than most people are making po' boys in a year.
What can I say? Like I make the aioli from scratch. It's fire po' boys, bro. Get off me.
Let's talk about that and more coming up next.